Magikarp, infamous. Awesome. Lori is Lily and Pelican. And Emily is Cynthia and Dawn. So, yeah, Officer Jenny. And Mike, I found out recently you have a big TikTok, Instagram, right? Or TikTok at least.
Yeah,
sorry. I'll just sneaking behind you.
Can we get a round of applause? Yeah. So, yeah, I found out you have a TikTok.
I have a TikTok. I have an Instagram. Partially known for the voiceover stuff, but yeah. I gained a sizable following for a lot of my sketch comedy, and also I do an Australian accent series where I make fun of the Australian accent, and people love that.
Can we get an example?
Oh no!
I like the passport too.
Yeah, it's all the rage.
Can we get it? I just want to know, really quickly. I bet everyone else is probably wondering. And you guys probably get asked all the time. How did you guys get into voice acting? You want to start there, and we'll come back.
Sure. So, hi, I'm Emily Bauer, and I have been voice acting since I was actually a teenager, and I fell into it. I was doing a lot of film and television. I was on a soap opera, and I was doing a lot of theater, and I kind of in the most traditional way, I had an agent, and they were like, go here, audition for this, and I was like, I don't know what this is, and then kind of learned by doing. I was so fortunate to get into this industry when I was a kid and didn't have to worry about a job, and I could just learn and be creative. I went to college for something completely different, and have always just been a voice actor. And so one of the cool things as you hear as we go down the line is that there's no one path to success in voice acting. And so people do take many different paths at the time. It's probably just a very traditional, I was an actor, I am an actor, and so voice acting is part of it. And I'm also lucky enough now to be a parent of 2 voice actors as well. Thank you. My daughter has her own Disney series, and my son does a lot of anime and animation work as well. And if only I had been a doctor, I could have followed in my footsteps there.
Yeah, very similarly. I went to school for acting, and I was in a show, an off-Broadway show called Avenue Q, and I voiced a lot of different puppet characters. And I had a friend who was working on Pokémon at the time, and she was like, oh, you do character voices, you'd be great, let's say with an audition. And so she did, and I got one role in the black and white series, and then I auditioned for Clement, booked Clement, and then that led to all the stuff I did on Yu-Gi-Oh! So it just kind of got the ball rolling, and now here I am, this very day.
Kind of a similar path. Started in theater since I was 8 years old, and then in 2008 when the economy tanked and all the union jobs went away, I wanted to still act but do something else, and so I actually took a class with Darren Dunstan.
Huh?
And he brought me in for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I did not get it. But he sent me over to Pokémon, and that's how that happened. And since then, he's put me in honestly, just right place, right time, and luck. So, yeah.
You'll be more suited for Pokemon.
Like, what's that? It's like they're looking for girls. They need more girls. Do you want to go over there?
Too many boys radio.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
you're pretty good.
Yeah, she was fine. So, acceptable.
What is Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon sexist now? You girls go over there.
I need boys, no girls. Go. Yeah. So and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
I'm not traditional. Sorry. I was a theater major in college. That didn't pan out well. I actually come from news, which is really weird. I worked for a CBS and NBC affiliate in Pennsylvania, and then I worked for MSNBC in Secaucus, New Jersey. And I hated it. I hated news, and I didn't have the personality for it. I win an anime role. That's what I did. At the Marriott in Times Square in New York with Central Park Media, and I won my first role as Hajime Yagi in the world of Norway. And that's how I got into anime. So I'm mostly just stuck with anime and video games. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna replace clapping. We're just not gonna say, oh no.
It's gonna be Australian.
And same if you can answer down the line again too. I want to know what's been your favorite experience being a part of the Pokemon world, the Pokemon world.
We all live in a Pokemon world. With the audience.
There was a one blip in time where my kids thought I was cool. I think it's gone now because they're over it. Over the 19 years I've been serious, but there was 1 second that they actually thought I was cool. So that was it. In all seriousness, though, we do not record together. One of the best parts is getting to come to conventions and events and get to actually meet and talk to people that appreciate our work, and we've been a part of their lives in one way or another, and for me that's my favorite part, being a part of this.
I definitely agree with that. It's really cool to meet everybody and see the effect, that, because when we're sitting in a booth, it's just us and the director on the other side, and we're just, going through it and having fun and enjoying it, but it's nice to see everybody and how it affects them, and that's very rewarding. My own personal takeaway, I was a fanboy growing up of Pokemon, and I like to tell this story at conventions. My very first girlfriend when I was 12 broke up with me because I played too much Pokemon. She would call me on my landline. That's how old I am. Yeah, my corded phone, which was in the shape of a football, and I'd be playing Pokemon. She'd be talking to me, and I'd be playing, just doing She'd hear the music from the game in the background, because I have to have the sound on. I love having the music on, and she'd hear it, and then I found out. Yeah, the Game Boy. Yeah, and the original, the red and blue. And yeah, she just couldn't take it anymore.
She was pregnant at the time, so...
That was last week.
Sometimes voiceover can be very solitary, especially dubbing, because we always do it one at a time. So actually, even just getting to see these people that I don't get to see very often, it's time doesn't pass sometimes. But it's also, I feel like when I started in a little bit in XY, but mostly Sun and Moon, and it was just a very welcoming family to come into fandom. And I just remember Sarah and Natachan taking me and helping me and just being yeah, and just so it's just, it feels like becoming part of a family, which is really cool.
I can't top these answers. I'll just do an Australian accent. I don't know. It's the same. Meeting all you guys, meeting that. I can't. I'm sorry. I got nothing.
I do want to open the floor for people who want to have any questions too. I just once again remind, please be super respectful. They're out of the kindness of their heart being here and being a part of this. So, can we get anyone who is that? Okay. I want to do a line, but I don't know if this camera's rolling, so I don't want to line up in front.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Can we get a line down the middle and just we'll go whoever's in the first line up and then get some questions. Yeah, you can start.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? So I have a question for when you iterate or you take up a character that has previously been performed by somebody else, which I know I think all of you guys have done. How is that process like? Do you, to what extent are you inspired by the previous performance, and then to what extent do you try to invent your own thing?
I think it's maybe one of the more stressful parts of the job, because we really do have, I think, a responsibility and an obligation to maintain the character that somebody else, was granted the opportunity to create. So, and most of the time, they are very important in the world, and we don't want to interrupt that. So, for me personally, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I possibly can to voice match, which is a term which is pretty on the nose. Voice match is best. Yeah, we get it. I don't need to tell you about that. I try in the instances that I've had to do it. I just want to do the character justice. I don't want anybody to be upset by the fact that we're humans. We're not going to get it exactly perfect, but as close as possible is always my goal, because I wanted to sort of maintain the integrity of the original character.
Agreed.
I got a question. During the entire years of Pokemon, what's your favorite meme out of any of the Like for example, the jelly-filled donut scene where it's actually a ice ball. I wonder what's your favorite meme.
Wait, you mean it's not a jelly donut? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if I It's like fighting out.
What's your favorite meme?
Oh, it's either with Brock with the jelly-filled donut or the one who uses the frying
Frying
pan.
pan.
Yeah, either of those two.
Yeah, anything with Brock getting his butt kicked. That was a fun one for me.
I'll have to second that. Yeah.
I don't know memes. Just find an old lady meme. That's it.
What about you?
Was there, I don't know if they made a meme out of if it's not on a plate, it can wait. I don't know if they made a meme like that, but like I love that scene that Jesse and James did. So, I don't know if it's a meme out there.
I remember the one scene where Meowth is drowning, and then Meowth comes back and she just snaps.
Thank you very much.
Alright. Quick question. What was your favorite moments of the show? Either Yugi or Pokemon? Like, what would you say was your best work, episode? Like,
Oh boy.
That doesn't narrow it down.
like what was
That's not a short answer.
like, here's the one. What was your favorite episode from each series, Pokemon or Yugi?
I'll start. Just in terms of voice acting, especially later in the series on Pokemon, there were entire episodes where I would have full scenes and conversations with just my characters. So I would do like a full pass as Dawn, and then I would do a full pass as Cynthia, and then Officer Jenny would come in, and the creature would come in. And our director was always very supportive of like kind of the rundown of how we want to do it. And similar situations in Yu-Gi-Oh, where I played Zuzu, Rin, Ray, Selena, who am I missing? And they're all having scenes together. For me, it's some of my proudest and most challenging work to maintain integrity and specificity of those characters. So as a voice actor, that's always really exciting for me. And then in terms of like favorite episodes, I think that Cynthia is a very inspiring character, and when she got to come back at the very end of the series, in those final battle moments with Ash, I think those were really powerful.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I'm sorry.
How's the Pokemon panel?
I'm really bad at remembering like
The Dawn episodes were your
each.
favorite too.
Well, yes, I have memorized by heart. At like what specific episodes like were. I will also agree though, like for Yu-Gi-Oh, where I'm like, Yuya, Yuto, Yuri, Yugo, and Zark. Like the whole. I think there was a number of episodes where it was. I think like just me, and I would go through each character, and then I'd go back to the top of the episode, record as that character, back to the top, record as the third. But yeah, that was really fun, and something I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity to do again. So yeah, I mean, I would have to
I think, I don't know which episode it is, but when Lily finally touches a Pokemon. Because she's my Snowy. But I am definitely allergic to cats and dogs, and so I very much related with Lily, not knowing that going in. So it was like, I want to do that too. Yeah, so that was my favorite episode to record. Yu-Gi-Oh! I honestly don't know. Dark Side of Dimensions was my first job, so I think I spent the whole time just being like, am I doing this right? God, I hope you like me. So I honestly don't remember.
I can't narrow this down. This is crazy. There are like so many episodes that are like extremely emotional for Jessie, which is like unusual. There's like the Dust Talks episode where she stomps on his ball and flies away. There's a Dr. White episode where it's like she falls in love with Dr. White and what's gonna happen? Is she gonna leave Team Rocket? I'm like, I hope she better not. I'm like, no, please, God, tell me. And then there's like the Mimikyu episode where, you know, she like sews Mimikyu's little, you know, outfit back together. And but the one episode that I really love the most, because it's funny to me, some of you might not, I don't know how young you people are. Carter wrote in the script, does anybody know the Fish Head song? Fish Head.
Oh yeah.
So Carter wrote in the script, fish cakes. He wrote fish cakes, eat them up, yum. And I'm like, it was like a Captain America moment. I'm like, I understood that reference. I know this song. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I loved it. So that was my favorite, fish cakes.
Thanks for your question.
Right. Looks like it's my turn now. All right. This is like for all the voice actors, like favorite Pokemon battles, including like the Masters 8.
While I'm thinking, if anybody
Oh,
else
yeah, I'll
wants
do
to
it.
step in.
I really loved in Sun and Moon because I played Ash's Lycanroc, so when he won, yeah, that was kind of an epic moment and another one of those like full circle moments as a young Pokemon fan to come and be Ash's Pokemon when he won the battle. You know, that was a pretty cool moment.
As a creature moment, being Primarina in the battle was getting my butt kicked. They also, by the way, the day that I evolved into Primarina, they didn't tell me I would be singing opera.
Hey, Lori.
It was like, so we're singing opera today. I was like, you could have told me that before I came. Even though I lost, I'm very, very close friends with Eddie Lee, who voices Gladion. So we got to battle each other, and he recorded first, so I got to hear everything. So it was really fun, even though he kicked my butt, but it was still really cool.
I don't, anything with Piplup is my favorite, so. Piplup and Dawn.
Good team.
Like, good team, best team
Wait,
ever.
I just want to
Better than anyone else.
So, Michelle and I were a team as Piplup and Dawn. Lori and I were a team as Snowy and Lily.
Oh, that's
Mike
cool.
and I are a team.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. Very iconic.
That is pretty cool.
Teamed up with us all.
And I'm your Pelipper, so pretty rocket.
Oh, yes.
You're the
The Pelipper with the machine. Like, good luck with the Pokeball.
Thank you for your question.
Excuse me.
Hello, everybody again. Hello. So this is a big question. I just need to do a little thing in the beginning. So I'm first generation Gen Z. I was born in '97 when the first original episode started to air. First of all, is it crazy meeting people who were born when they were babies?
Make us feel old.
My whole life, with probably many of us, who were born after like the video games, like we've all like physically like grew up on Pokemon, like going to Walmart and like picking out plushies as like radios and couldn't comprehend anything.
I think it's actually one of the coolest things. And you'll notice, you go around and you have parents that bring their kids and they're like, I loved Pokemon as a kid and now I bring my kids with me. And just to like show you how unreal time is, my daughter was 1 when I started as Dawn, and now she is the age that Sarah was when she started voicing Ash. My son was not even born, and he is like an actual human going to college soon. He came to a recording session with me when he was like 9 days old. So he's always, when you talk about having like Pokemon in your life, like I get it, and I feel that it is very special. So thank you for being an original. You know, always having 97 in your life, and you know, from all of us. Really, it's amazing.
And thank you for clarifying, because I don't know in Gen Z. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that like
Yeah, Pokers, yay.
Millennials, I think is
My generation, like, we mostly grew up on like the anime, but like I have older, like my brother and my sister who are millennials grew up on the video games in college. But like as a 3-year-old, I don't know how to play college, so I used to just watch cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that too. As someone who grew up on it, became a part of it, and now I'm at the point where during these shows and conventions, people are coming up and saying, I grew up watching X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh my god, this is like...
It's crazy.
It's kind of mind blowing. Yeah.
I mean, is it also sort of weird to think about, like, with like many of the people like in my age group, like we've only ever knew Pokemon. That way when the series were ending, everybody was just so emotional. But like because like we physically only knew Pokemon like our whole lives.
Right.
Like yeah, we do the new generation. They're amazing to see like the kids, but like it's so different for us. We've ever only knew Ash Ketchum and like everybody else who played it in.
Right. I think that's another cool thing about it is that each generation, each age group has like their series and the one that touched them, and and then you move on to the next series and a new generation of people connect to it, and it's been going on since the first generation, which is
Maybe going on for the anime's been going on for 27 years. At my age.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
I mean, I guess I'm pressured to say I'm a millennial. I got pressured. I was born in the 1990s, and I just grew up with everything Pokemon, and I just love it. I'm like even dating someone right now. She has this 8-year-old daughter, and it's really cool to be able to connect with her.
Totally.
With some of her favorite Pokemon. I guess my question would be, do you have any like fan experiences that you like just that one really memorable fan experience in any of the conventions you ever been to? Or just any event in general?
I just had one today. I don't know if she's in here. She started crying, and I was like,
Oh, I saw
give her hugs. And I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, I just had one today. But I've had a few like that, and it gets me emotional because I'm like, you're gonna make me cry. But that's always sweet when you have that effect on somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
When Sun and Moon first came out, I got a lot of death threats and mean things online to me. Yeah, people did.
I feel that.
The way I sounded.
They must have wrote it wrong.
Yeah, maybe. But so after doing my first convention and the first time someone told me that they liked Lily's voice was really good for me to hear because I was really sad for a long time about it. So yeah, thanks. But yeah, that's why Sarah kind of took me under her wing because that obviously happened to her. So it was really cool to come to my first convention and just hear someone say I liked Lily's voice was pretty.
It's funny too, because like a lot of the fans, some of the fans online can be really mean.
Yeah.
But then when you meet the fans in person, it's
so different.
Humbling. It's like the opposite experience, and that definitely for me the experiences where you see how much your characters have a place in people's lives, how much they've affected them on a positive level. And you see people dressing as your characters or wearing their swag. It's like, it really, really means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to everybody up here. So it's really a very special experience.
I think I can speak for everyone here too, so we appreciate you guys immensely. You guys do absolutely incredible work and a big part of everyone's life here and beyond. When you're online, it's so easy to hide behind something and not really be there, but you guys are human, you know, and we appreciate you very much for what you do.
Thank you. I do this thing in my life these days where if I think about somebody, I just text them or I call them. Like, even if it's like, it's so random, right? Because I feel like if you have something nice, and it always makes somebody feel good to let them know that you're thinking about them. So, like, Mike might get a text, like, hey, bud, literally no reason, just saying hey, because he came up in a conversation or I was thinking about something funny, whatever. So, when we come to conventions, when I come to conventions, it does mean a lot to me when people come up and tell me how they feel, because they don't have my number, so they can't. So, but there's something really wonderful about just being able to share positivity. I'm a really big fan of positive con culture and supportive fans, and I really encourage that. I encourage the kindness, I encourage that two-way street. I appreciate you. Thank you for making the effort to come here and tell us, you know, your thoughts and what our work has meant to you. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi. So this is a question that anyone can answer, but I was just curious. Do you have like a favorite line read, like from just any of your characters? I guess like the one that comes to my mind, I still find myself quoting a lot, is this whenever Dawn says, "No need to worry," and then just everyone.
Definitely, and just again talking about that positive culture. You're not alone, and I think that sometimes we all need a little catchphrase to get us through, right? If there's something that makes you nervous or something that makes you anxious, Dawn's got it right. She is a fountain of positivity. The other thing about Dawn is that she does not let other people's successes take away from her and what she is trying to do. She can be supportive of others while still working towards her own goals, and I think that is a great way to live. So, no need to worry.
Mine's less exciting. It's Pulliver throwing up a bomb.
Give me the gotcha machine.
I think it's really cool that all of our characters have their own tagline too, because I feel like it boils them down to the essence, the core of like who they are and their personality, and I feel like that's really like the one thing that fans can always connect to, or what draws you to a specific character is that tagline, what that means to them. It really is just like, you know, the essence of the character.
I still love, if it's not on a plate, it can wait. I love, that's my favorite line. I'll never forget that one. It was so
Now
funny.
that is an advice to live.
If it's not on a plate, it can wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. First off, fellow millennial. I'm old.
No, you're not.
Say,
No, you're not.
I feel it. So I just wanted to say I am just so thankful for all you guys being part of just something huge that's been in all of our lives, just for so many freaking years. You know, Pokemon just has been. It holds a special place in my heart because it was the only thing that my father and I were able to bond with. Unfortunately, he's no longer here, but it just holds something special, you know, because I'm from like the blue, like red and blue days. He bought me my first game, my first Nintendo 64, you know, Pokemon Stadium. He told me, "Oh, what's gonna fit in your Game Boy?" And then first surprised me with the 64. You know, and he played it with me, and I taught him. So thank you for just being part of something huge and amazing, and for however long you've been a part of it. But my question is, out of every character, not every character, but of all the characters that you have voiced for however long you've voiced them, do you ever find that, because I know you can use your personality sometimes to, you know, help along with the character. Do you find that any tendency of the character to be voiced for a while tend to rub off on you?
That's a good question.
So when I am recording audiobooks and I'm spending hours and hours with a character, it happens all the time. Like, let's just say I'm recording a fantasy book. Like, it would really surprise me to not see vampires flying around outside. You really immerse yourself in that world, and that is the best part about what we do, because we get to make believe and play pretend, and hopefully, you know, when I'm voicing a character for animation that is bright and fun and positive, that is something that I get to take with me. I've also voiced characters that have gone through very traumatic and tragic situations, and as an actor, and not just a voice actor, it is very important to have a technique to let go of that and to not take those negative feelings and emotions into your life and your day. And you've heard stories about actors that have had trouble letting go of tragic or traumatic experiences and characters. You know, we want to avoid that. So, but yeah, definitely.
I think also we all have, like, all of our characters are some version of us. They all, whether, you know, you sort of like pick parts of your own personality and how it relates to you, and you sort of separate that from the rest of you, and you sort of like pour your energy and the life into those parts to help animate this new section of your personality. So it is kind of schizophrenic in that way, where you're sort of like separating. And but yeah, in that regard, you do sort of, it humanizes, even though they are animations and anime, it does humanize all the characters, because they are coming from a human place.
Oh, same.
Oh no.
I mean, same. But I think they all kind of creep into us because they're all part of us.
I started stealing because of Jesse. So, and unfortunately, I got caught in a store. No, I'm just kidding. I'm saying, I don't know. I was just trying to think of something funny to say.
I'm now a criminal.
I think we are actually at the end of the time too, so I do appreciate everyone, and thank you guys for everything.
Come to our tables if you didn't get
Yeah, come on
answer.
by.
We're gonna go back. Come to our
We'll
tables.
chat with you there.
Can I get one last round of applause for that?